Should Christians vote? And should Christians be involved in politics? And should we be attempting to legislate morality? Let's talk about it today on Justified by Score.
Should Christians vote? This question surprisingly sparks debate within Christian circles. Some argue for a separation of church and state, suggesting that faith should remain a private matter. Others emphasize the importance of civic engagement as an extension of Christian love for neighbor. Christians have a moral imperative to participate in the political process, including voting as an act of faithful citizenship. Our faith informs our values, and our values inevitably shape the society we build together. To abstain from voting is not to remain neutral. It is to cede ground on issues that profoundly impact our communities and the lives of our neighbors. From policies affecting the poor and vulnerable to the sanctity of life and the definition of marriage, elections have consequences. To remain silent is to relinquish our opportunity to be salt and light in a world desperately in need of the hope and truth found in the gospel. What exactly do we mean by politics? Often the word evokes images of partisan bickering, power struggles, and backroom deals. While these elements undoubtedly exist, we must adopt a broader, more nuanced understanding. At its core, politics is the process by which we collectively make decisions about how we will live together in society. It encompasses the systems of governance, the creation and enforcement of laws, and the allocation of resources. Every society, regardless of its form of government, engages in politics. It is the ongoing conversation about what we value, how we will organize ourselves, and how we will pursue justice and the common good. Laws are not neutral entities handed down from some abstract realm. They are the concrete expression of a society's values, reflecting our collective understanding of right and wrong, just and unjust. Laws governing theft, for example, reflect a societal consensus that stealing is wrong. Similarly, laws prohibiting murder codify our shared belief in the sanctity of human life. However, laws do more than merely reflect existing values. They also shape and influence future behavior. When we legislate against discrimination based on race, religion, or gender, we are not simply acknowledging a pre-existing harmony. We are actively working to create a more just and equitable society. Laws have the power to change hearts and minds over time, nudging us towards a greater embrace of the values they embody. Given the undeniable influence of politics and law on the shape of our society, Christians cannot afford to remain disengaged. Our faith provides us with a comprehensive worldview, offering guidance on issues ranging from poverty and social justice to bioethics and religious liberty. To retreat from the public square is to abdicate our responsibility to be a voice for the voiceless and to advocate for policies that reflect God's heart for the marginalized and oppressed. Furthermore, our engagement must be driven by a spirit of humility and respect. We are called to be winsome ambassadors for Christ, engaging in dialogue with those who hold differing views with grace and understanding. Our goal is not to impose our beliefs through coercion, but to persuade through reasoned argument, compassion, and a demonstrated commitment to the common good. Navigating pluralism and moral conviction. One of the most common criticisms leveled against Christians who engage in politics is the accusation of attempting to impose their beliefs on others. In a pluralistic society, the argument goes, we should refrain from advocating for policies rooted in our particular religious convictions. While respecting the right of others to disagree is paramount, this argument ultimately fails to recognize that all legislation is, in some sense, the legislation of morality. Legislating morality, an unavoidable reality for all worldviews. Every law, from traffic regulations to environmental protection laws, is based on some underlying moral principle. When we pass laws requiring drivers to stop at red lights, we are legislating a moral value, the importance of protecting human life and preventing harm. Similarly, environmental regulations reflect a moral concern for stewardship of the earth and the well-being of future generations. The question, then, is not whether we will legislate morality, but rather whose morality will be enshrined in law. Will it be a morality rooted in a Christian worldview, emphasizing the dignity of every human being, the importance of family, and the pursuit of justice and compassion? Or will it be a morality shaped by secular humanism, relativism, or some other ideology? To abstain from engaging in the political process is not to opt out of this moral debate. It is to concede the ground to those with different values. The Christian difference. Christians bring a unique perspective to the public square because we believe in objective moral truth rooted in the character of God as revealed in Scripture. While we recognize and respect the sincerity of those with differing views, we cannot accept the notion that all moral claims are equally valid. We believe that some things are objectively right, such as caring for the poor and protecting the innocent, while other things are objectively wrong, such as murder, theft, and oppression. This belief in objective truth gives us a firm foundation from which to engage in the messy world of politics, advocating for policies that promote human flourishing and reflect God's heart for justice and righteousness. In conclusion, Christians have a moral obligation to engage in the political process, including voting, as an act of faithful citizenship. Our faith informs our values, and our values inevitably shape the society we build together. To remain silent is to relinquish our opportunity to be salt and light in a world desperately in need of the hope and truth found in the gospel. Let us engage with wisdom, humility, and a deep and abiding love for our neighbors, seeking to build a society that reflects God's justice, compassion, and shalom.